Everyone, this is James. Thank you for joining. We are just setting up. We will start in about 9 minutes exactly. I'll be right back.
Survive this life, mama, this one not in there for my head. The system way too rough, can make man forget say better this day ahead. The pressure plenty, I fit also so, and office sleep from my bed. Joblessness they on the increase, even but I know they will go take chop my bread. Politicians back to sender, not come use me and I be wrong fighter. Only money for Sunday, mama, they won't run one go to the altar. Where they get you, then go put you for jail and fly their family back overseas. Waiting you go gain, my brother. I'm on the way to be the pay for better life. I say now what do we the X for better life? Tell me what do we the work for better life? I say what do we the wish for better life? What do we the dream for better life? Tell me what do you the crave for better life? Tell me what do you the yearn for better life? Now what do I the sing for better life? Don't despise the youth. The government don't despise the youth. I think go stand if you destroy the youth. Bad politician don't go spoil their roots. Oh no, don't despise the youth. Mr. Government don't despise the youth. I think go stand if you destroy the youth. Bad politician don't go spoil their roots. Oh no, be part of decision making. Our voices should be hard to build. A better tomorrow, a better tomorrow. No no. A better tomorrow. Make we say no to violence. Make we say no to drug abuse. Make we say no to violence. Make we say no to drug abuse. I'm on the way to be the pray for better life. I say now what do we the ask for better life? Tell me what do we the work for better life? I say what do we the wish for better life? What do we the dream for better life? Tell me what do you the crave for better life? Tell me what do you the yearn for better life? Now what do I the sing for better life? This life, mama, this one not in there for my head. The system way too rough, can make man forget say better this day ahead. The pressure plenty, I fit also so, and office sleep from my bed. Joblessness they on the increase, even but I know they will go take chop my bread. Politicians back to sender, not come use me and I be wrong fighter. Only money for Sunday, mama, they won't run one go to the altar. Where they get you, then go put you for jail and fly their family back overseas. Waiting you go gain, my brother. I'm on the way to be the pay for better life. I say now what do we the X for better life? Tell me what do we the work for better life? I say what do we the wish for better life? What do we the dream for better life? Tell me what do you the crave for better life? Tell me what do you the yearn for better life? Now what do I the sing for better life? Don't despise the youth. Mr. Government don't despise the youth. I then go stand if you destroy the youth. Bad politician don't go spoil their roots. No, don't despise the youth. Mr. Government don't despise the youth. I then go stand if you destroy the youth. Bad politician don't go spoil their roots. No, be part of decision making. Our voices should be hard to build. A better tomorrow, a better tomorrow. No, a better tomorrow. Make we say no to violence. Make we say no to drug abuse. Make we say no to violence. Make we say no to drug abuse. I'm on the way to be the pray for better life. I say now what do we the ask for better life? Tell me what do we the work for better life? I say what do we the wish for better life? What do we the dream for better life? Tell me what do you the crave for better life? Tell me what do you the yearn for better life? Now what do I sing for better life?
Everyone, we are going to be starting soon. Please get on your networks and reach out to your brother, your sister, your friend, your mother, your auntie. Tell them to join the Zoom. Send them the link. We are starting in 3 minutes, launching Dignified Urban Life.
Survive this life, mama, this one not in there for my head. The system way too rough, can make man forget say better this day ahead. The pressure plenty, I fit also so, and I fit sleep from my bed. Joblessness they on the increase, even but I know they will go take chop my bread. Politicians back to sender, no come use me and I be wrong fighter. Only money for Sunday, mama, they won't run one go to the internet. Where they get you, then go put it for jail and fly their family back overseas. Waiting you go gain, my brother. I'm on the way to be the pray for better life. I say now what do we the ask for better life? Tell me what do we the work for better life? I say what do we the wish for better life? What do we the dream for better life? Tell me what do you the crave for better life? Tell me what do you the yearn for better life? Now waiting I the sing for better life. Don't despise the youth. Mr. Government don't despise the youth. I then go stand if you destroy the youth. Bad politician don't go spoil their roots. No, don't despise the youth. Mr. Government don't despise the youth. I then go stand if you destroy the youth. Bad politician don't go spoil their roots. No, be part of decision making. Our voices should be hard to build. A better tomorrow, a better tomorrow. No, a better tomorrow. Make we say no to violence. Make we say no to drug abuse. Make we say no to violence. Make we say no to drug abuse. I'm on the way to be the pray for better life. I say now what do we the ask for better life? Tell me what do we the work for better life? I say what do we the wish for better life? What do we the dream for better life? Tell me what do you the crave for better life? Tell me what do you the yearn for better life? Now what do I the sing for better life?
Halala youth, halala. My name is Ola. I'm known as X. I work at Slum Dwellers International as part of Noyo City TV, Youth and Media. Welcome to our live campaign launch. This campaign comes all the way back 3 years ago when COVID-19 started. SDI on Noyo City TV is a campaign that collects citywide data to influence policy development for the inclusion of informal communities. What we've been doing in response to this disaster, we went on the ground with our satellite producers, trying to understand the impacts of COVID-19 in low-income areas. our key findings range from many things: teenage pregnancy, drug abuse, mental health, especially towards young people. And this has made us ask a fundamental question of policy change and policy shift. How are cities, or at least policymakers, city officials, stakeholders contributing in the development of progressive policies that will be disaster ready, progressive policies that will keep people away from risk? So we've convened here in Cape Town, started on Monday. We call this the Dignified Urban Life Youth Summit. We have 3 countries who are part of us, including South Africa. Zimbabwe is here, Zambia is here, Kenya is here. South Africa is also here. What we've been doing, we've been discussing, can young people lead policy shift? Can young people be at the center of policy development? We then spread out a call. We know as the youth, we use art, we use a lot of stuff to express our position. In this campaign, we've specifically commissioned producers, musicians to hold, including the Federation Youth, to engage Mother Federation and have intergenerational dialogue with them and try to understand. I mean, whenever there's a disaster, communities are always the first responders. Are our communities ready to respond? Do we have the right policies? Do we have the right structures and systems in place to respond whenever disaster happens? So that is our purpose for this meeting here. We want to understand, can all SDI federations be in a position to be able to respond to risk and disaster? And how are doing this, as I've said, is having intergenerational dialogues with Mother Federation, is having dialogues with stakeholders, city officials, as the youth, because our vision for this campaign is that young people can lead policy development, young people can lead policy shift. So through having intergenerational dialogues with Mother Federation, we've then came to Cape Town to share these songs. We will screen the songs or play the songs on our launch. Please do watch them, follow them up, and comment and engage us on the online spaces. So what we've been doing all this week, basically day one is we're trying to understand our capacity as SDI to respond to risk and disaster at the community level. In day one, we focused on youth-led policy shifts. We've invited these young people who've gone to different communities in the continent to bring presentations to us, to tell us how were these dialogues, how were these intergenerational dialogues with Mother Federation and with city officials. And when we got here, we then grouped ourselves. We've titled, given ourselves like names from Dignified Urban Life. So the first team, we have Team Dignified, we have Team Life, and then we have Team Urban. All these teams are here discussing, policy statements, action statements that can be adopted for policy development. Day one was presentations. We've heard of what's happening in the ground. We've heard of these intergenerational dialogues with Mother Federation from all the countries that have came to visit us. And day two was all about like designing and developing these policy shifts. And this is true, having dialogues among ourselves, international dialogues among ourselves, to understand what's happening in Kenya, and to also understand what's happening in Uganda, what's happening in Zimbabwe, and where are similarities? How can we draw insights from all of these policy action statements in order to come up at the end with a clear picture of what we mean when we say we want a dignified urban life? So day 4 was about going on the ground. In fact, day three, we've had a presentation from a professional where we tried to understand, is the entire federation ready? Do we have, or can we draw up a structure that we can use or employ whenever a disaster hits all our federations? So that's what day 3 was about. We've had presentations, and we've looked dived deep into what this actually means, especially from the house level. If a disaster hits, the first responders are houses or are homes, and then from there, it then spreads to the community. So we look at the capacity of a household to respond to risk and disaster. On Thursday, or the fourth day of this summit, we've gone on the ground to meet other young people here in South Africa. We were in Khayelitsha, where we met like a number of art groups, youth groups that are using art to mobilize and galvanize around their common need. That was day 4. We have a media product that we are working on in co-creation with all the countries that are among us. And I also visited a community garden, which is led by young people here in Cape Town, the Youth Federation and Fed Up in Cape Town. So this is day 5. What day 5 is all about, it's a campaign launch. In this campaign launch, what we're asking for, we're engaging you live online to tweet and talk about what does it really mean for us to lead policy change. And we're hoping that this Dignified Urban Life campaign is the one that we can use to influence policy, that we can use to engage city officials, engage stakeholders in order for them to prepare policies that will be able to mitigate disaster, policies that will be prepared for risk and disaster, policies that will have a positive response towards disaster. So that's what we're all about here. We're in Cape Town, the mother city. I'm your host, X, and we're doing it. Let's go live. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So I just want to acknowledge our audience. Yes, we see David. Hi, David. Kevin, Mustafa. Who else? McTavish is in the room. Bernadette. How are you doing? We've got Dialogue in Shelter. We've got Elijah's. We've got Van Curious. It's great to see such a big audience. We are launching Dignified Urban Life, which is an ongoing campaign where we are looking to take community-led responses to disasters to the next level. And for this, we need your help, please. So this is the launch, and we hope that you watching this will take this up and make it a great success. So we're going to have a little presentation of the first song, which is from Mungano.
Has confirmed the first coronavirus case in Kenya.
We have recorded another high of 127 positive cases out of 3,831 samples tested.
Ni muungano, kwa pamoja tuungane, kitu kimoja tusimame. Tuinuane, tupendane, ni muungano, kwa pamoja tuungane, kitu kimoja tusimame, ili mradi tuinuane, tupendane, ni muungano, kwa pamoja tuungane, kitu kimoja tusimame, ili mradi tuinuane, tupendane.
Hali noma kaujasoma red card patiwa try kugoma governor uma handcuff dandiwa sola ndio na hustle bro na hang down za miwa kaujazaliwa ndo unadaiwa nimesimama kwenye mchanga nikiwa na cheki wase vile wamechanganikiwa na hii story ya corona hiliziwa maswali kujibu inabidi kujibiwa
kila siku ni matanga kwa street na hakuna hospitali zinaweza kutreat doctors wana strike na manases wana retreat washa surrender juu pandemic imekuwa ngavini youth wanatan kuwa kama Jonah kwenye Bible, yani jobless and idle, compressed wa rifle, formless and idle, chom next ni iPhone, wata snatch kwa window utabaki widow, na where do we go?
Kwa pamoja tuungane, kitu kimoja tusimame, ili mradi tuinuane, tupendane, ni muungano, kwa pamoja tuungane, kimoja tusimame, ili mradi tuinuane, tupendane, ni muungano. Kwa pamoja tuungane, kitu kimoja tusimame, ili mradi tuinuane, tupendane.
Economy imekuwa blanda, tuko hunted kwenye janga. Kafi imetupanga bila rada, bila sanity, bila usafi ni kuparara. Tax imepanda hata Uber siezi panda. Rent imerise na nyumba bado ni ya manyata. Uhuru ka Kenyatta ndio kitu sijaipata. Uchumi ni super na market hakuna banda.
Bundle, mimba za mapema zinafanya maisha isonge. Brother mekwa dingo ndio mtoto wasome. Violence na crime nafanya mfuko isote. Mtani kama dhare mental ethical quote. So kijiji kiungana ni ishara ya nguvu moja. Mfano poa kwa jamii na generation inakuja. Miadarati tukomeshe, daktari akose wagonja. Tegemeo ni kama sisi, tegemeo ni sisi.
Kwa pamoja tuungane, kitu kimoja tusimame, ili mradi tuinuane, tupendane, ni muungano. Kwa pamoja tuungane, kitu kimoja tusimame, ili mradi tuinuane, tupendane, ni muungano. Kwa pamoja tuungane, kitu kimoja tusimame, ili mradi tuinuane, tupendane.
Corona ilikam kumess up na nature, ilikam kupoteza savings na pesa, ilikam kuacha families na danger ya expose. Nina questions kama 100, tunaumia, siwezi vumilia. Mbona gava upya na aid kuonekana kwa the media, na hii ni ya wote waliotuibia.
Hii verse naitemaka kaniko chini juu. Maisha nimezoea mtaani ni maisha ya chini, kuzaliwa kulelewa kwa vitongoji ni duni, maisha umaskini kila mahali ni madeni. Tunazunguka makampuni, kazi hazipatikani, kwani sina kina nani alitulaani? Book huku hatunanga bahati, na kusoma tumesoma hata waraka wa amani.
Kwa pamoja tuungane, kitu kimoja tusimame, ili mradi tuinuane, tupendane, ni muungano. Kwa pamoja tuungane, kitu kimoja tusimame, ili mradi tuinuane, tupendane, ni muungano. Kwa pamoja tuungane, kitu kimoja tusimame, ili mradi tuinuane, tupendane, ni muungano. Tuungane, tusimame, tuinuane, tupendane.
Kadrona kila kona ni homa na noma. Kaza ndom to get wisdom. Nations ime lack motion, self control, goal ni control. Konso komobo na daibob. Male alitusho get do help youths na community. Vitu zina unity, spirit siya makali, tumia akili, roots for hili. Muungano ni bidii, slum dwellers kututreat. E-voice unasikia from street.
Hi everyone, my name is Kanyisile Nomga from South Africa. This is my team Dignified. Welcome to the Dignified Urban Life campaign launch.
Hello, my name is Melanie. I'm from Zambia, People's Process on Housing and Poverty in Zambia, and we work together with the Zambia Homeless and Poor People's Federation and the Youth Federation.
Awe, my name is Tadiwa from Zimbabwe. I'm a Young People's Federation in Zimbabwe, and also I'm a Noyo City member. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Christine from Kenya, Nairobi, Kenya, Muungano wana Vijiji.
Hi, I'm Ture from the Kenya Federation, Muungano wana Vijiji.
We're just going to do our presentation. What is dignity? Dignity is about life, basically, whereby people's basic needs is a priority. For example, water and sanitation. It's also about having boundaries and good morals, and also an improved livelihoods and preparing ourselves for future disasters or crisis. Then we'll be able to know how to deal with the crisis accordingly and correct.
Me, I'm going to talk about inclusion. Women and children and everyone must be included in decision-making in terms of implementation and action to a dignified life.
Yeah, so to achieve dignity, we need to have, we as the Federation need to have a multi-agency task force internally and externally. In terms of externally, we need policymakers, duty bearers to bring them on board so that we can work on policies that can govern in future if we are going to have like certain disasters. How are you going to manage to handle disasters? And also we need to create an internal multi-agency in case we are having a certain disaster. How are you going to respond as federation? And if you are going to have like other leaders from the community, how are you going to approach this? So let me invite my other hope.
So how do we achieve all this inclusion, multi-agency? We need to have a strategic advocacy. In strategic advocacy, we need to advocate for good leadership. And we need to advocate for community-led and people-centered and to achieve people's agenda. We also need to do art for social impact. And by this, we need to, how do we achieve all this? We need to organize our communities and mobilize the youth so that we can achieve inclusion and multi-agency. Thank you.
So in order to have all this happen, we need action. And we have a saying in Bemba where it's actually in Tonga. It says, "Buchete wupamano." It means when you go through problems, you become more intelligent and you have more ideas and more solutions. So we're looking at action. How are we going to get out there? It's about planning together with communities, not for communities. It's about building their capacity and also understanding their knowledge and using their local knowledge, their local solutions, and bringing in your ideas, your science, and working with communities. So we are calling you to action to work with us and so that we can have a dignified urban life. Thank you.
So for those who are following us, if you have any question, make use of the chat box and we will answer you.
Great. So if you have any questions, please raise your hand and I'll unmute you or put them in the chat. We have a few questions from our live audience before we cross over to the next presentation. Yes. We have a question from Tora.
Yeah, thank you so much, group Team Urban, Team Dignified for your presentation. Maybe my questions or my comment is around the issue of like I've seen your dignity, inclusion, and how all these things will work when it comes to collaborations and partnerships. Anyone to? Yeah, all did. Okay.
We're Team what? Urban. Hello, welcome. My name is Mark from Zambia, and this is Team Urban. So I think we'll just do an introduction of who we are before we get to the main board of our presentation. So I think we're gonna start with him.
Hi everyone, I'm Andrew from Sierra Leone. Here representing Team Urban.
Hey guys, I'm Delia from Zambia, representing Team Urban.
Hello everyone, I'm Sabelo Zegevo from South Africa, Cape Town, representing Team Urban. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Teorai Nyamangara from Zimbabwe, representing Team Urban.
Okay, Mark again. So we came up with a few process and ways in which we came up with our call to action. So I'll just talk about one of them, which is community dialogue. So community dialogue, this is more of communities coming together to come up with solutions in which issues they are being affected with. Let me talk about research plan and just collectiveness altogether. So community dialogue, which is very important and should be prioritized in order to come up with a change, which we need to see as a world together.
The next thing that we discuss is around resource mobilization. We discussed that it is important to come up with ways as youth to mobilize resources, such as funding specifically for us to empower youth in our communities so that they are capacitated to make a change, specifically for disaster response, so that they take the lead, because I think they're the ones who are still young and have the energy.
And the other way that we come up with it's urban farming or stroke agriculture, because we've looked at the youth that we are mobilizing, and I think urban farming can sustain or organize youth. And when we do farming, we create jobs for youth, and we build a person. And then we mobilize youth to come together. And when the gardening is growing or the plants that we have planted, we sell them to the markets, and then we save the money so that we can have a good saving schemes.
Yeah, so the other thing which we talked about is storytelling. So we create stories, inspirational stories through art, in brackets, poetry, drama, music, visual art, and we also document our stories here for inspiration purpose.
Thank you, guys. From Team Urban again, one of our action points here is community-led disaster response. And as a youth, as a young people, we need to stand firm to see that we stop some of these disaster that is happening in our community. That is to say, building resilience in our community disaster risk points for a better change. Thank you.
Oh yeah, so as Team Urban, collectively, our call to action is together, young people can build a community that is a youth-led and empowered for change. Yes, thank you.
Okay. So I think we are now open to questions. To the people who are watching us on Zoom, who have joined us, you can just, there's a comment section, you can just leave your question there and we'll be able to respond to it. So our group, we're just talking about how young people can come together and bring about impact. So any questions from our audience or the people we have online, just bring it out. Yeah.
Okay. So we're having quite a few people on the chat saying great presentations, being very encouraging about the music. A lot of shout outs. I think what we will do is collect the questions and come to them at the end of the presentation. We'll end the presentation and we can hang out and chat.
Yeah.
But well done, guys.
Thank you.
Our next music video comes from Zambia. Team Zambia.
Diamond Chapter.
Dignified urban life. Let's come together, work together for the betterment of.
Right, sorry, that's not right.
dignified urban life. Let's come together, work together for the betterment of dignified urban life. Let's come together, work together for the betterment of our communities. We're from the urban life with a positive mindset. Stanzila dela la kutoka mavuto. Olote kutike tilinayo njira toka mavuto. Twaliko
kaswili matoto la punzizi president mene ngakale tikukuma mu mafundo osiyana chakwilizi nazo ise siku ndi siku chifuka chimenyela ise mawala bwino kani za kusefukila kwa mazi ngati mukufuneno mukazitule zonse chimanyadila zomwe tili nazo ife na pita
poor but I'm rich in mind kweni choka niyolimba tonight yes akila makwata all night paka wacha fika futa timagonela na fanta GBV na eve ilitiwa drug abuse never exhibition, but hustle every day, hoping for a brighter day. It's a balance and a prayer and a hustle song.
Okay, welcome. This is Team Life, and we are here to share our experiences and the lessons that COVID has taught us. I'm Richard Bokai, and I'm the KYC TV team lead for Sierra Leone. We are all talking about the impacts of COVID, but it is also significant for us to remember what climate change has played a role in our communities. You know, when communities are climate resilient, it also increases their capacity to absorb shocks. And we want to see how much these communities can be climate smart communities and having the strong capacities to absorb future shocks and invest in green technology or green economy to ensure the sustainability and livelihood of all these communities. So now I'll introduce, I'll let the Team Life members introduce themselves and maybe briefly share some of their experiences.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tim Ngosi Ncube.
one of the KYC TV members and the Youth Federation. I'm so happy today to be part of the summit as we mark the last day of our youth summit under the theme #Dignified Urban Life. Looking at the summit, I'm so great to be part of it. I have learned a lot of things, especially talking on the improve on health and well-being, whereby if we look at almost globally, we're affected by the pandemic which struck the whole world like COVID-19. Looking at COVID-19, some people were not prepared about it. And most of the people were affected because they didn't have knowledge on it, on how to stay safe, and some people didn't have any health facilities so as for them to get any help. So whenever they get affected, I will say, let's take this opportunity to come together and work together in improving health and well-being by promoting quality health infrastructure and health education to each other in our communities, and also to ensure the access to wash services, water and sanitation to services to everyone around us. Thank you. I'll give it to my colleague.
Afternoon, everyone. I am Kamani Matiko from here, South Africa, and I am a member of KYC TV, Cape Town. My experience is that from the start of the Dignified Urban Life Summit, we've come together as 4 countries and we've discussed our ideas and experience during the pandemic of COVID-19. And then we sat down and strategize on if another disaster can come, how would we cope? We all know during COVID-19 that most people lost their lives, their jobs, and then the crime level went up. I think that's implying in every country in Africa. That happened. So how can we be safer and secure during another disaster or pandemic? So as Team Life, we thought if maybe we could participate, community could participate and collaborate together to, with the local authorities and police to improve infrastructure so that people can feel safe in their communities. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sarah Ouma. I support KYC TV, the Kenyan team. And COVID really had a significant impact on the economic livelihood of people. And we, and as we were in this youth summit, we realized that actually the issues that affect us are like really similar. And it was interesting to like really learn how other countries are doing it. So because it affected our economic livelihood, you realize there was a lot of poverty, there was an increase in unemployment. We just want moving forward to promote, sustainable income generating activities. We want to, promote savings. And yes, I'll stop from there for now. Thank you.
My name is Sauda Tukanu from Sierra Leone. I want to say thank you to God Almighty for giving me this opportunity to attend this youth summit and a dignified urban life. I learned a lot, share ideas from different countries. When COVID come, we thought and fit and say, we want to do data collection. Data collection is to analyze and promoting community participation to engage community in their decision making. So I want to kindly ask you to join us in advocating and for policy change, in making policy change for their community. Thank you.
Now that we've had all of this, we are asking to join us in building a climate resilient neighborhood that provide equitable access to economic opportunities, improve health and well-being, and utilize data as a tool for proper development. Together, we will create a vibrant community where residents feel safe and secure at all times. Let us work towards a sustainable future for our neighborhood and its residents. Thank you.
Great, thanks. Now we're going to go to Zimbabwe, where we have a presentation. This is a choir recording from the Mother Federation.
Social distancing, yes, I'm all soon my max, Corona,
Hey guys, and everybody who joined, we just want to thank you for being part of this launch, especially the ones that are online. So please follow us on all our social media platforms. On Twitter, it's SDI_net. On Instagram, the same. For Twitter, KOAC TV is Know Your City TV on Twitter, Know Your City TV Facebook, Know Your City TV YouTube. And please remember to use the hashtags that we're using. We're using Dignified Urban Life hashtag. So if you're online and you want to be part of the discussion that we're currently having, please use the hashtag to see what we are talking about. The conversation does not have to definitely end here. Even after this youth summit, you can definitely continue with this conversation. Everybody here, please keep using the hashtag. If you're tuned in online, please keep using the hashtag. Join in the conversation. Use Dignified Urban Life, hashtag COVID Collective, hashtag SDI Youth, and hashtag KOAC TV. Thank you so much for being part of Dignified Urban Life Youth Summit, Cape Town 2023. Thank you so much. Yeah. Sorry. Sierra Leone. Oh, yes. We're gonna be listening to Sierra Leone next. Thank you.
And then you can pick around and chat to us. Thanks, everyone. So we're busy sorting out our technical difficulties. Sorry about the reverb on the song. I got a comment from Beth saying, surely the Zimbabwean choirs sing better than that, you know? So we're gonna go back to our music. Would love to hear any thoughts from the chat or any thoughts from our live studio audience. In the meantime, let me pass the mic to our members in the studio just to make any comments and reflections. Melanie, you had an idea, right?
Thank you. And thank you again for everyone who's joining in. Yes, we've had an amazing experience here. Yesterday, we were out in the field and we met a lot of young people that are using art. We saw the visual arts that they're using. They're using dance and acting, as well as music. And we had a chance to listen also to a live band. And their amazing talent is a tool that definitely they can use to amplify the Dignified Urban Life campaign. And we continue to call out to you people, everyone out there, to join us and to raise the people's voices, hold our leaders accountable, and let's work together in terms of improving the livelihoods of communities. Thank you.
Because we no land book, no me say we for I. Because we dead down now, no me say we not go claim up. Now true say yes we born at the slum, that no me say no land book, no me say we for I. Mama papa let we thank God for them, because we dead down them God, no me say we not go claim up. I swear for don't say yes we born at the slum, that no me say no land book, no me say we for I.
The song that you are about to listen. The song that you are about to listen.
Not feeling that anymore. Tell us about the song and then play the song.
Yeah, so the song that you're about to listen is basically telling us that the fact that we are born poor does not mean we should remain poor. The fact that we live in informal settlement does not mean that we are hopeless, but we also have the capacity and we have the ability to be strong, and we have aspirations and we want to be better, and together we can able to improve our lives and have a brighter future. Then it's also calling for collective approach to development. Development has to be inclusive and collective, leaving no one behind. Thank you.
Okay, there you have it, members. Thank you so much for joining us. It doesn't stop here. We are taking these conversations online. We have hashtags that we are using, the Dignified Urban Life. We're using hashtag COVID Collective. Ask us questions. In as much as this launch closes here, the conversation continues on our online spaces. So we're waiting to hear your questions, your comments and concerns. We will engage you. And it doesn't, stop. This is only the beginning of hashtag Dignified Urban Life. Our vision is to see this being invited into big conversations, into relevant desks in cities around Africa. It is an ongoing conversation. It is a campaign. It is an ongoing call to action. Join us and let's come together and advocate
for communities that are suffering in disaster, or communities that get so severely affected by disaster, and city officials or cities that are not able to respond to that simply because communities were not included, simply because planning is always done at the exclusion of communities. These dialogues contribute to the inclusion of communities, to a resilient and a more, inclusive COVID-19 recovery, risk and disaster recovery. Communities must be included. These conversations started in Korokocho, they started in Mbare extension in Zimbabwe, they started in Sierra Leone, Freetown. Many communities are talking about disaster ready. Many communities are talking about being ready to manage, mitigate, being prepared, and also to respond. So these conversations are going on. Engage us on our call to action campaigns. Engage us online. We are here. We are not leaving. Thank you so much. Engage us online. We are here. We are not leaving. Thank you so much.
Better things, better skills, we don't learn.
Engage us online. We are here. We are not leaving. Thank you so much. Better things, better skills, we don't learn. We don't get from fair. Engage us online. We are here. We are not leaving. Thank you so much.
Better things, somebody not gonna be liability, gender equality, for social security. They don't put plenty smile and we begin the face. Empower women them in different ways. Our youths are hopeful, we see them for face. Dim dim, therefore so oh Nanje. Because we bump no me say we for die poor. Because we no land, no me say we for idle. Because we dead young now, no me say we not go claim up. True say yes, we born at the slum, that no me say we not go change up. Mama, papa, let we thank God for federal. If not be them, God, no for don't F up. Me, I swear, for don't give up. If not be federal, me, for don't fed up. Mama, papa, let we thank God for federal. If not be them, God, no for don't give up. Me, I swear, for don't give up. If not be them, God, no for don't fed up. Federal. Better things, better skills, we don't learn, we don't gain from federal. Oh, na, na. Oh yeah, oh yeah, federal. Better things, better skills, we don't learn, we don't gain from federal. Yeah. Chale baba this, me a this, yeah. Federal this, them this, yeah. Mama, sell people then this, yeah. We'll bat self there, so, in there, so. Yeah.
Wawulira nga boogera jangu kati yali kwogera naye ate yakasirika
Social distancing, yes, I'm home. Soon my box. Mufira pamwe waende pina hiyo corona. Mufira pamwe waende pina hiyo corona. Lekeresheni yachema na hiyo corona. Lekeresheni yachema na hiyo
Scatter, scatter. Onyanje, kele baba dance. Oyaga yo.